A safe partner is a man who is consistent, who is, hi Phil, so nice to see you here, who is consistent with his love, who is consistent with the ways he shows up, who is consistent with the ways he loves you, right? That is safety. You know, we all know we want a safe man, but a lot of the times we don't even know what that is or what that looks like, right? So that's why we're defining what a safe partner is. So consistency is safety. Have you realized, hola Lisa, miss you too, babe. Hi Lisa, nice to see you here. Consistency is safety, right? So this is why, you know, sometimes in relationships have you realized when like there is these men who are like push and pull, and or they love bomb you, they love you and they give you the sky and the stars, and then they disappear, and then you're like wondering what happened, and then they show up again and then they disappear again, you know, and you feel like it's so freaking, you hate it when they go away, but you cannot leave them. This is trauma bond, right? Because it's keeping your nervous system in this like push and pull, in this like, you know, I'm here and then I'm not. So this is it's creating chaos for the nervous system, right? So this is toxicity in a relationship. So safety, if you want your nervous system to be safe in a relationship, you must look for consistency, right? So continue to define. Hi Amina, so good to see you, babe. Hi Melet Creation. Hi. So continuing to define a safe partner. So it's a person who is consistent, a person who is emotionally unavailable, a person who, no, available, not unavailable, a person who is emotionally available, a person who is open about their emotions, who has an open heart, who can express their emotions, right? A person who will honor your boundaries, a man who will honor your boundaries, who will listen to your desires, who will, you know, like do everything in his power to make you happy, as long as it doesn't cross their boundaries, right? Because there is a difference though. Which is a topic for another time, right? But a man who honors your boundaries, who honors your desires, who honors your needs. A man who is safe will also hold space for you. Hold space when you are in your emotion, when you're, you know, for all of you, you know. When you're with a safe partner, you're able to be all of you. You can be the emotional tornado, you can be the silly version of you, you can be, you know, all of you, and you know that you're going to be held and accepted and loved no matter what. That is what a safe partner is, right? So does this kind of man exist? Does this kind of partner exist? The answer is yes, abundantly. So many out there, you know, like sometimes women in my world say like, but I don't know if he exists. I don't know if this kind of king that feels so safe exists. And here's why women wonder sometimes if this kind of partner exists, or if their partner can be this kind of man, this kind of king. They don't believe this, or they don't know, or they doubt it, you know, because there is no reference point for you. Hi Hannah, so good to see you here. So if there is no reference point for you on what a safe man, a safe partner is, you will not recognize him. You could have the safest man on earth in front of you. But if you don't have a reference point, you won't recognize him, and you might even label him as unsafe, as too boring or too overpowering, too overbearing, too, you name it. When we don't know what safe masculinity is, the moment we encounter, we do not recognize it, and we might even be uncomfortable in its presence, right? So a lot of the times the problem is not that there is no safe men out there. The problem is not that the lack of kings out there. The problem is not that your man cannot be a safe king. The real issue is that you don't have a point of reference. The real issue is that you don't recognize that safety. That is the real issue. So the good news about this is that it's within you, right? So your job here, if you want to attract a safe partner, if you want to deepen safety in your relationship, your job is to create somatic safety. That will be your point of reference. Because some women sometimes say like, oh, well, I've never been in a partnership that is conscious, that is safe, Sometimes when women find themselves at this point in their journey where like all their past relationships have been more from an unconscious place or a more like a ego-driven patterns, and now they are doing the work, they've been doing the work, but they yet haven't found a partner or haven't had this relationship that is more conscious and that is safe. So they're like, I haven't experienced this before. How will I recognize this person? How will I know if this relationship is safe for me? So you don't have to have a reference of external from you. You can create the somatic safety within you, and that is the main point. That is the main point, because it's not about you waiting for someone to come and show you what safety is in a relationship. It's not about waiting for someone to come and say, hey, look, this is what safety is. This is what a safe king is. Here I am. Ta-da! No, you don't have to wait for that. You create somatic safety first. Now, I've said somatic safety already a few times, but what does somatic safety means? Somatic comes from the body. We're talking about body. When we talk about safety, we cannot create safety just from the head. Why? Because safety is nervous system. It's the body, right? Hello, Divine Queen. Hello, Nomad Mama. So good to see you here, ladies. Drop a heart, drop a hello. Let me know if this is landing so far. Give me some hearts if this is landing for you. And if you have any questions, any comments, drop them below. I work better when you interact with me, babes. I'm so happy that all of you are here. So, somatic safety means bringing safety into your nervous system. That's what it means in plain English, right? So that's the thing. A lot of the times, when women are like, oh, I continue to attract these emotionally unavailable men, or men who don't honor my boundaries, men who come and disappear, come and go, the fuck boy, this kind of thing. Hi, Philippa, so good to see you here, babe. So if you find yourself in this cycle, it's really, really good information. I don't want you to look at yourself like, oh, why do I keep attracting this kind of person? I must be not worthy or blah, blah, blah. Let's put the judgment aside. Let's put the pity party aside. And this is really good information. It's like, oh, okay, remembering that your nervous system is your point of attraction. That is the thing. Your nervous system is your point of attraction. So in your head, you can say, I want a king. I want a man who is really safe. But if in your nervous system, intimacy equals unsafety, if for a lot of us is, right? If the imprint for us in our nervous system is unsafety, then we will not recognize the safety. It will be harder to attract the safety. So it is your job, it is your responsibility to build that safety somatically in your body. Is this landing? Now, you might be wondering, what does that even mean? How do I rewire my nervous system into safety? How do I bring safety? I love the dynamic talking in feminine and masculine energy, from the lens of feminine and masculine energy. It's like my favorite way of saying this. And my clients always get this in the best, this is the best, the easiest way to explain for me. And people usually get this through this lens. So what I mean is, here is where your inner man comes in. If you want a king in your life, your inner king must come out first. That is the truth. And if you are one of the women, I used to say this a lot too. A lot of women are like, oh, I've been in my masculine for all my life. I've been in my masculine, for so long. Now I need to lean into my feminine. And the truth is that most of us, is not that we've been in our masculine. We've been in toxic masculinity, which is very different. When we're overworking, when we neglect our needs, when we neglect ourselves, when we self-abandon, when we are like in the do mode, always living in our heads and very like rigid and living in the head and not coming into the body, this is more on the side of distorted masculinity, unbalanced, right? So your job here, in order to build safety in the body, is where your inner king comes out, your healthy masculine. This is your chance, this is your opportunity to heal your inner man, to heal your inner masculine. That is so beautiful, because the biggest mistake that a woman can make is to expect for someone, for a partner, for a man to give her the safety that she desires, that she needs to open her heart and to feel, to deepen her intimacy, to be more sexually liberated. That is the biggest mistake she can make. Because when you're doing this, you're just like, oh, waiting, like the princess, right? Like, oh, I'm waiting for, a man to give me safety. Safety is your responsibility. So when you start building that safety, which looks like using your voice, voicing your desires in your dating life, in your relationship, in your business, in everywhere in your life, in every area of your life, voicing your desires, voicing your boundaries, voicing your needs. Using your voice is the first. It is one of the most beautiful and empowering ways that you can start, healing that inner man. The inner man, its job, as easy as this, I want you to remember this in like a very simple way. The job of your inner king is to take care of you, to take care of your inner feminine, to take care of your energy, your time, right? So setting boundaries and speaking up your needs and expressing your desires is not being selfish, it's not being a bitch, it's not being bossy, it's not being too much, it's simply taking care of yourself. And the beauty of this is that a king a man who sees that in you, he will be so attracted to you. A real king. A toxic man that sees you, like expressing your boundaries and your desires, he's gonna be repelled. So next time you feel scared that, you might scare a man away because you're expressing your desires and your needs, and if he actually runs away, be fucking grateful. Thank your inner king, because a man who runs away when you express a desire or a boundary or a need is toxic masculine. That is the easiest way to identify a toxic masculine man, right? So, but a real king will thank you for voicing your needs, for voicing your boundaries. A real king will recognize that in you. He will be like, this is my queen. This is something that I've said before, I mentioned this in past transmissions, that my man, it was one of the first things he ever complimented me. I never been with such a king, like in my relationship, like like Jordan, like my partnership right now. And over a year ago, in our first messages, even before meeting in person, he was like, trying to get to know me. We weren't gonna meet in person until like 2 weeks later. So we had already arranged, he wasn't in the city. So we said like, yeah, okay, we're gonna meet in 2 weeks. And he was trying to get to know me, and he started like asking about a bunch of questions on WhatsApp. And I was like, I love that you're asking a lot of questions. I know that you want to get to know me. I do too, but I don't love being, back and forth on WhatsApp. I don't love being on my phone all the time, just messaging, especially not with someone that I haven't met in person. I said that, and the first thing he said, he was like, no problem. Thank you so much for letting me know. Let's save ourselves. Let's save our energy. And we'll go full out in 2 weeks when we meet in person. We knew from the beginning that it was something special. We just knew it. We're both very intuitive. And, and so he brought the structure to that, and he was like, yeah, okay, I'll take you on a really nice date in 2 weeks when I meet you, and we'll go full out. And it was beautiful. And here we are, 13 months later. But 2 things I want to say about that story. The first one is that he recognized the queen in me. My inner king was taking care of my time and my energy. In another time of my life, I would have been like, oh, but I'm so excited about getting to know this man. And fuck it, let's talk to him. But I wanted to set the standard from the beginning. I didn't want then, to be a different person at the beginning and then change that. Why would I, right? So I did that from the beginning, and then it was one of the first things he said, I love how your communication, I love the way you express yourself. And back then, when I was circle dating, I practiced conscious dating for an entire year before he came into my life. And every single man I was attracting back then were always expressing how good it was that I expressed myself with so much clarity, because my energy was super clean behind it. I wasn't like, oh, I might be too much, or I'm sorry, or, no, I was super clean. Also, I wasn't bossing them around. I was just expressing my desire, my boundary, and a real king loves that. I was attracting so many conscious men. That's why when I say that there is no lack of kings out there, I met a bunch of amazing kings before I met my man. they just weren't, a fit for me, and that's okay. But I met a bunch. So that's what I mean as well when I say that your nervous system is your point of attraction. I learned to take care of my energy and my time in such a powerful way. My inner king was taking care of myself, with these boundaries, using my voice, expressing my desires so really fucking powerfully that then kings outside me recognized the queen in me. They were like, I like this girl, I like that, I love this style of communication, because then they don't have to be guessing what you want. They don't have to be guessing if it's okay to do something. Boundaries bring so much safety into any dynamic, whether it's a first date, whether it's your current relationship, whether it's your family dynamics, your business. We hear about boundaries all of the time, and yet there is so, for a lot of us, especially when we've been in situations where we felt unsafe to use our voice, it's imprinted in our nervous system, that unsafety to use our voice. So we perpetuate that, and then we're scared of expressing what we want. But again, this is how we build that somatic safety. We start practicing, right? This is why there is an entire module on boundaries and building the safety at a nervous system level, to use your voice inside Relaxed. This is my program where I teach you the whole foundation of how to build really, really safe relationships, how to build that safety within you so you can attract a man that feels safe, so you can build that relationship that is really, really safe, that feels so grounding, that even if, if you're exploring new things in the bedroom, you're safe. Even if it's something entirely new, you feel safe. Even if it's a new person, you feel safe. Even if you're navigating a trigger, even if you're in the middle of a really strong trigger or a trauma response, even you are safe, because that safety is instilled, it's imprinted, is within you now. That is the whole point of this program, Relaxed, right? That you feel safe no matter what, no matter who you're with, no matter at what point of the relationship you are, no matter if you are, going through sex, intimacy, or if you're navigating a trigger. If you have the right tools to navigate all these situations, and if you know that you have your back no matter what, because your inner king is always protecting you through your powerful boundaries, through your powerful voice, deepening intimacy and creating incredible relationships won't be a problem. But this is the foundation for that, right? This is the foundation. And the last thing that I wanted to say related to the story that I just shared, when I met my man, is the other part is that is a beautiful quote unquote test to find out if a man is safe. When I shared with him, what my desire is, and my personal desire is not to be on my phone all the time, back and forth. That's my preference. And what he did with that is really great information. So at some point, a lot of women ask me, how do I know if a man is safe? How do I know? The easiest, a really great test is give him a boundary or give him a desire, express something that you like or a need, and see what he does with it. Right? As I was saying earlier, if a man is scared by you using your boundaries or expressing your needs, then it's a red flag, right? a man who can take that and do something about that is a good sign, right? It's a good sign. Let me know how this is landing for you, babes. Give me some hearts. Let me know if this is landing.